Afternoon alternative here on WUDR Dayton. A rock in the Gem City, music in all directions. Support your local music scene. We're here with K.Carter, Dre, and a couple of other good friends here in the studio. How you doing, guys?
Doing all right, doing all right.
How are you, sir?
I am very well, thank you so much. So let's just jump into some of the conversation. How long have you guys been making music?
I've been doing music, I think, let me say seriously, since about '08. And I think me and Dre been working together since about 2012, I think.
How did you guys get together?
Mo Beats, rest in peace, Mo Beats. He kind of linked us up together, and I was still new to this, trying to figure out who to work with and everything like that. And I heard something from Dre, and it was real melodic, like had a lot of melody in it, and that's when I found out my sound was like, I like melodies in my beats and stuff, so I started working with him from there, and it's literally been him since then. So,
what would you say to that, Dre?
Being a church musician, a lot of soul and chord changes are pretty much the basis of my foundation. So, with that being said, with Kev, he was a hip hop artist, but he loved the soulful beats. So that transition was easy for us.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So if you're just tuning in, we've got Dre and K.Carter here in the studio. You might know him from NBX or Dayton Strong. We'll play some of that later. But I'm also curious, how do you approach writing songs, Kay?
For the most part, I try to come up with something that's going on in my life at the time. Like, what am I feeling? Usually, honestly, it's me and Dre will get together and we'll either make a beat or he'll send me something he already made, and I feel what that beat is kind of telling me.
Yeah.
And that lets me know what to write to it and stuff like that. So it's a lot easier for me to hear the music, and then it's almost like a movie. I can picture movies when I hear the music. I picture the whole video and I visually see things. So I write it how I visually see it, and it's mainly when he makes the beat. So that's when I come up with the stuff. So.
Well, it almost sounds to me like what you're doing is you're basically creating a story.
Yes, I'm literally creating a story. Yes.
So it is it tied to your real life, or do you get kind of fancy with it? Kind of fantastical.
Yeah, I would say a lot of it ties to my real life, but some of it I like telling. It's almost like Steven Spielberg, like just telling a story that may not be real to my life, but it can be real to somebody out there.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so I do it that way.
It's real life, but it may not be your real life.
Yes.
And so what do you think about that, Dre? Is it harder or easier to create music to go along with like a story, like a real life story?
I think that's the goal of music, to create the soundtrack of people's lives.
Yeah.
We try to make music people can relate to. That's the main thing. We're real individuals. We're just everyday guys. We just like to have fun, but we also have a gift of creation, a gift of creating music. So me and Kev, we always like to create a space where we don't like to overthink things. That's the goal with music. It's an art form, so let it be free. You know what I mean?
So you want it to come from the heart as opposed to being like artificial.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Because music can get stale these days, especially hip hop music. It's really cookie cutter, and people are afraid to get outside of their comfort zone, outside of that box.
Yeah.
So with Kev, I want to continue to push him outside of that box, and get him on a higher level than he's ever been. You know what I'm saying? Self-evaluation, always being better than your own self. You know what I mean?
So as you work, you want the latest thing to be better.
Absolutely.
Than the
Yes.
previous work.
That's the definition of progress. So that's how I want it. So.
Growth.
That's a fair point.
Yes,
K.Carter and Dre here in the studio. I'm also curious, guys, when you do sit down to create, So is it that you've already created the story, like you've got the lyrics, the poetry, and then you kind of hand that off, or you guys work collaboratively on the music?
Now, honestly, it's been two things. Sometimes it's I have absolutely nothing, and then I go in the studio and I say, Dre, let's do something here. He'll start creating, putting together the song, and I'm writing as he's putting it together. So by the time he's finished with the whole song, I'm already.
We just did that, actually.
Yeah, we just did it.
Really?
Yeah. And now, and there's other times where I have an idea, and I'm like, because I did a song called Massa, and I was like, I had this idea of how I wanted the song to go, how I wanted each beat structure, and everything like that, and he was able to do it just like that. So more than likely, it's just him creating something, and I get in the zone. But it's been some times where I just have this idea, and like I said, it's visually, so I can visually see the idea I'm having, and he just makes it from there. So
Yeah. How do you not freeze up though? I mean, I would feel pressure in a moment like that. Like, I got to be good. I got to be creative. You know, I'm just, thinking that would be so hard for me.
yeah, I think it's less pressure on me because I'm doing this kind of for me, and I'm doing what's real to me. So I'm not trying to please anybody specifically when it comes to that.
So if it comes, it comes. If it doesn't come,
Yeah. And those who flock to it will flock to it, and I just got to trust that me being real and being true to myself and what I am as a person, that will be enough to get those true fans that respect that. So.
Sure. Dre, I'm curious. How many different instruments do you play, sir?
Oh man, as of right now, just one. But I started out playing saxophone. I started out playing drums in church at 3.
At 3?
Yeah, 3. Yeah, I've been playing since 3, man. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to give you 3 or 4 instruments right there, my friend. You say one. I hear 3 or 4.
Hey, it's not 3 or 4, but just for right now, man, just keys.
So principally with the two of you guys, it's mostly keys.
Yeah.
Keys from you.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it sounds like you've got other things that you can do. And hey, if people are listening, we've got kiddos in the studio, and you know what? That's okay. So if you hear some real life here in the studio, that is perfectly okay. I want to put you guys at ease too.
We love the
as
kids.
as a father of 2,
Yes, sir.
mine are a bit older.
Yeah.
30 and 22.
Oh,
Kids
wow.
doesn't seem like the right word.
Right, no, those are adults.
But yeah, they are most assuredly adults. But in my mind, they're still my kids. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
But I'm just curious, where do you guys take your inspiration from? Like, what artists are working today that do sound fresh to you, or that do sound like innovative or interesting to you guys?
Well, for me right now, man, I'm just trying to expand my horizon as far as music goes. I like to listen to a lot of different things, old school Steely Dan, some old Beatles stuff, jazz musicians, Art Monk, all those guys. So
Yeah.
I just try to soak up a little bit of everything, and once I'm in that creative space, it's easier to pull from. It's almost like a library. You know what I mean? You gotta read the books and gain that energy and gain those chords or gain those melodies. And once I get to the moment with Kev when we're creating, I can just pull from that library.
What about you, Kay?
I guess I'm standard Jay-Z. That's one of them.
Yeah.
But I've always been a fan of like Lupe Fiasco, Kendrick Lamar, things like that. But I listen to a lot of music that people don't even know about. I mean, they know about the music, but they don't know I listen to this music. But like I've been listening to a lot of Fall Out Boy.
Really?
Yeah, and I just like I said, and Dre know this. I just got into like listening to Styx, listen to them, and I'm listening to the lyrics, and that's what motivates me is what they're saying and how it's relatable to even today. Things like that. So I'm more inspired by what's being said, and it inspires me to where I'm like, I see how deep they're going into this message they're trying to let out, and how can I tap into that, and also take it into a lane to where it's just me. So I listen to a lot of different music to get that type of inspiration.
Well, and the musicians you mentioned are extremely good at flow.
Yes.
I would refer to them as more melodic style of poetry,
yes.
or would so you
Yes,
do agree with that?
I agree completely. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Well, if you're just tuning in, and where you been? We've got K.Carter and we got Dre here in the studio. We're gonna play. I got a couple of tracks I'm gonna play here. I'm just curious what you would say about NB. I want to make sure I get this right. NBX, because I think earlier I didn't say it correctly. NBX, right? What would you say about that song?
So for those who don't know, NBX means Nerd Boy Extraordinaire. This song is kind of like
that's awesome. By
yeah,
the way.
it's kind of like a mind dump of what's on my mind. And the first half of the song is, I guess you would say, kind of not dark, but it kind of more thoughtful about me growing up, what I see, and everything like that. And then the second half is more flow, but it's like I understand who I am. And this is who I am. The first half is like, this is my thought process of what's going on. The second half is, this is who I am. Take it or love it. Take it or leave it. And that type of thing. So, because I understand, me doing cybersecurity is my main job. It's kind of rare to see, oh, he does hip hop music too. So it's one of them things. So it's just I'm comfortable with that. Yeah. I'm okay with that, and I don't mind saying that in my songs, and people respect it. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, I get a different type of crowd. I can reach a wider audience that way. So that's pretty much what the song is about.
Oh, absolutely. Let's jump into it now. This is NBX from K.Carter here on your Tuesday afternoon alternative.
I'm looking for an angel in the city, and she only wants world peace. World peace. I never met her though, and if she comes in with the mail, I'm gonna let her go. They told me I would be nothing, that I became something, and now they want something, but I give them nothing. It's so much destruction in our community. I'm not talking Troy and I bet in the morning. See, this is not new to me. I'm giving you tips and it comes with gratuity. The word community, in my opinion, is created beautifully. See, have a show of communication, and the other, of course, is unity. Being smart is cool to me. I just think God is choosing me. I just want y'all to feel that I matter, and please come dressed to the eulogy, because my biggest fear is nobody know I'm here. I died in my house alone for 2 weeks before anybody cared. That could actually happen. Let's get back to this rapping. Bars like the side of a casket, looking for a wife that look like Angela Bassett. Sweetest woman you will ever meet. If it's ever beat.